pie del Ávila majestuoso, a 920 metros sobre el nivel del mar, en un valle de verde geografía que se abre de este a oeste, surge Caracas, la capital de Venezuela.
And now, our feature presentation.
You are watching a master at work.
Go get some!
What's going on, everybody? And my name is Rafael Chacinas, known as El Capitán Rafucho, and welcome to another episode of The Combat Club. Because in this club, we're born to fight. Anytime, anywhere, anyone. So right now, let's give it a round of applause, please, because we're getting back. We are getting back. Yes, indeed, right now. So do you guys check my new soundboard? I mean, what can I tell you about this right now? Because during for the net streams, we're going to do something brand new with the soundboard and everything. So if you sound like really this with the Taco Bell, that sounds really important. I mean, I know you guys are really stressed out or get a little hunger, but right now this is the Tuesday post show because right now we're going to review the UFC Atlanta and of course certain things about like the UFC. So make sure to subscribe to Capitán Rafucho on YouTube. Almost getting there to 15K subscribers. And of course, you can follow me on every social media at Capitán Rafucho on Nets, as known as Twitter, at Capitán Rafucho 93 on Instagram. Also, I'm on Kick, Rumble, TikTok, and Twitch. Right now, I just wanted to make sure the Atlanta review between Joaquin Buckley versus Kamaru Usman. So, there it is. The UFC Atlanta review with a lot of music coming up there. There you go. A lot of snake knots right because you know that I love it. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, the UFC Atlanta, it became last thing on last Saturday before Father's Day, and it became like sort of like chaos, but something like lackluster, because we all know that Kamaru Usman, he just won against Joaquin Buckley, but after that fight, because he was posted like he's lost to the Kamaru Usman, and I'm not kidding about this, folks. So check this out. Joaquin Buckley say, I was on a race last night, but I'm still victorious. Will be one of the greatest. That trip was beyond amazing, and I will change the thing happened in the fight camp. Everything was perfectly planned. I just didn't execute like I know I could. We went to land early damage on Kamaru Usman and get him moving back. He did a good job neutralizing threats and takedowns. But don't get it twisted. Kamaru Usman was more concerned about holding me than hurting me in this fight, that he did what he felt was necessary to win. So can't be mad on him. Congrats to Kamaru Usman, to his team. And Francis not going to do also message. Excited about the welterweight division. See ya when I see ya. Okay, you heard Brick Brawl, Podzeb coming soon. Yeah, that was the message for Joaquin Buckley. So I just wanted to figure it out in the voice of Kamaru Usman. I broke your face. Because look at it this one. I mean, don't you know this just hate when you give someone like a hug and they start bleeding from the eyelid? I mean, clearly it happens all the time to Joaquin Buckley. Because a lot of people, they're going to love this or they're going to hate this. Because He was actually show up maturity compared to a few years ago, with a lot of people saying that he was a douche. But I know in this fight, he shows out someone that's still there, but that was actually one of the most entertaining fights between for the main card. Some people that just call boring, like Luster. He was really just laying the prey. He just opened the cut in the first and reopened it a couple of times. Pause. I mean, he was throwing neck shots and elbows on the ground. Thought it was an entertaining fight between for like Buckley staying alive and still being in the trap in the fifth round. And Kamaru Usman really brought that fight from the jump. I mean, that was really impressive. The fight IQ even thought he was gassed in the fifth. Any 38-year-old doing championship rounds deserves a lot of respect. A lot of respect. But to be fair enough, not many fighters have huge egos. Can happen in the sport. And when you lose, it's sometimes hard to fully accept it. At least you gave like something to credit that wasn't really expected. Really expected at all. And Kamaru Usman landed more damage on Buckley, which is, I think that was that point of that fight. Don't get it twisted at all. Don't get it twisted. Because I understand that between for that fight, Buckley showed some good stuff. He was in the great shape and the tremendous strength, the physicality. His cardio will kill after the 5-12 rounds, and he never quit himself. He showed heart and toughness. But the only thing that he needs to repair is his wrestling style. Because if you guys remember this iconic interview between Daniel Cormier and Islam Makhachev, if you want to send your son at Eli Wrestling, take it 2-3 years to Dagestan and forget it. I mean, the only issue that I just saw on Joaquin Buckley is his wrestling style. I mean, it looks like shit. It looks like lackluster. I mean, I don't know what's going on with this fight about for Joaquin Buckley. I mean, before he just won against Colby Covington, I was like, maybe Colby Covington deserves the victory more than Joaquin Buckley. Because have you ever seen like all these like the wrestling style in some of those fighters like Joaquin Buckley? I mean, he definitely sucks. And salute to Aubrey Alain Thomas, KJ McCoy, Carlos Tug NFL. Is a awesome show, brother. Keep up the great work. Also salute to Jay Radio 505, the creator of Just Raiders, baby. Thank you very much. But anyway, the case, I mean, this happens a lot. And I'm not trying to be racist at all. But Joaquin Buckley deserves like to keep continuing this footwork. He needs to understand his wrestling style. I mean, I know it's a fight, but if they hate you 80 times and you hate me no times, what the universe should get a little bit? Because this is not about jujitsu shit. Because they don't need to like score the positions based on how position do you do damage. If they add strikes, I don't know. Because if you had top control, pause, you can do nothing about it. Why should it be like really score? I mean, if you making somewhere like at the point, but maybe just to talk about wrestling in general. But I thought control was very impressive. He needs to adapt a lot of more. So I just wanted to take care of like one advice to Joaquin Buckley. You need to hire a wrestling coach, just like the type of Daniel Cormier, not like Islam Makhachev, just like Daniel Cormier, Henry Cejudo, because they know everything about wrestling, including Colby Covington. And I know you became part of the welterweight division along with Colby Covington, Sean Brady, everything. But you need to learn a lot of more of wrestling style when it comes to fights in mixed martial arts. I mean, you had to be prepared because I know that you sounds really unprepared. You really sounds unprepared, but you need to prepare a lot of things more. You need to hire a wrestling coach for your next fight. I'm not lying because you need to adapt a lot of more. Because I understand that this shit is not gonna be like really easy. But Joaquin, you need to hire a wrestling coach to get involved, get informed, and of course, you need to have to practice a lot of things more. You gotta wake up. You gotta choose violence. But stop capping. Stop liking yourself and get back to work. Get back to fucking work, Joaquin Buckley. And you had to repair that wrestling style. You had to hire a wrestling coach. I mean, what does it mean about it? You need to hire one sooner or later, Joaquin. I mean, God. Joaquin, do me a favor. Hire a wrestling coach sooner or later for your next fight. All right? Deal with it. Deal with it. I mean, even Usman actually gets you down to the last attempt big ground with a pound smash towel pulse. I mean, he just trying to hold it against him in the cage with just lay them. Just lay them then. I mean, for God's sake, you need to understand more. I mean, every time he got to take it down, he looks like absolutely clueless, like a fish out of the water. And some people understand it about, bro, check. Get used too much. Because some people, and I do, because they usually hate it. But what I'm thinking to actually fit in the situation, he got handed to a chub, old man of the silver platter, and suddenly thought he was top shit. Then you he gave it like a third watch job old man, and the third wasn't enough for the watch job as everybody thought. But me, between Joaquin Buckley, this is like the real definition of fraud. He got very selective matchmaking, which led to the people that he had scarce, well, those skills that he doesn't have. That the third piece of the selective matchmaking design for like making it look good against the old man, he was absolutely abysmal at 50% of the mission martial arts. I mean, in that area on the ground that Kobe fight was supposed to make people think he was good at, well, he doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't know. He doesn't. I mean, come on, man. Why it doesn't really happen at all? What does it really happen? Like I said it. Kamaru Usman, I broke your face. Yep. And everybody just saw like the Pulse interview with Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman. And then that was like, oh my God. Unbelievable. Shout out to everybody else on the chat. And of course, well, I didn't see that really earlier. How's it going, Daniel Berry? Salute to you, Daniel Berry. Salute to you. Cheers. Cheers for that. Cheers. But speaking about the review of Fight Night between Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley in Atlanta, I know that some people got really high. But between for like the welterweight division, it's absolutely fuck. Absolutely fuck. Because so fucked that at the point that Bilal Muhammad just got lost the title, like it's fourth or fifth in line. The first one, they got Islam Makhachev. Second, there is Shakbag Raghmanov. 3, Kamaru Usman. Number 4, Ian Gary versus Sean Brady. And 5, probably Bilal, because he's the only one coming off from this. Yep. Usman, they just put a one hell of a performance tonight. But I thought he was look very slower on the feet. But also he just wrestled a dude who looked like he never trained takedown the defense last night. He got the flowers, but I'm not really sure he's going to translate to the rest of the top 3 welterweights. Because they need to allow up kicks or something to give those strikers a chance. Yeah. Those strikers on a chance, because I understand this is going to be really, really, really good. And they're going to check in. I mean, if you guys remember, Jet de la Madalena knocked out Bilal. They were knocked out Paredes. Usman knocked out Buckley. Brady knocked out Leon. Basically, it's like a year-long welterweight journey going to the top 10. And you got like dudes like Morales just winning on the wins to make a really statement. Yep. He made a great statement. But between for like that fight, I mean, Usman Morales still him. Buckley, it just became like a class act, but he needs to improve sooner or later. Sooner or later. But I understand that he's losing moving like the ritual way. The should like take more slower. I mean, like what are what are those guys deserve like a title shot right now? And Shabba was supposed to be next. Brady, Sean Brady should get a shot. To be honest, and I was saying because they still got on it. They still got on it. They still got on it all right now. All right, so I understand that last Saturday I wasn't able to make a live stream between UFC Fight Night in Atlanta because I was dealing with the electrical storm in North Carolina. We just take off the dirty water. Thank God we just became safer. But the only problem that I just got it is because they have dirty water in the carpets. In the carpets. And I was just like, oh my God, how am I going to do about it? And it was just like a whole nightmare to take off the dirty water. And after that, because it happened like, it take like 2 days to take off like the dirty water. So that's one of those reasons that I wasn't able to make a live stream. Well, call in or like call in to the fight Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Barkley. But we got some of the results right now. All right, for the women's flyweight, they have Jimmy Lynn Hoare defeat Vanessa Demopoulos in the decision unanimous. On welterweight, Philip Rowe defeat Angie Luza for a TKO in punches. On bantamweight, Ricky Simon defeat Cameron Smurderman in the decision, which is unanimous. On flyweight, Jose Ochoa defeat Cody Durden on the knockout punches. Bantamweight, Malcolm Wellmaker defeat Chris Moutinho in knockout. Welterweight, Michael Chiesa defeat Corey McGee in the decision unanimous. Light heavyweight, Paul Cray versus Rodolfo Velato. It was no contest, no call with a legal upkick. And for the main card, they have lightweight Alonso Menifield defeat Umar Sy with the decision unanimous. Middleweight, Mansour Abdul Malik defeat Cody Brunish with a technical decision. Bantamweight, Ronnie Barcelos defeat Cody Garbrandt with a decision unanimous. Middleweight, Edelman Shabbat defeat Andre Petrosky in the decision unanimous. On women's flyweight, Rose Namajunas defeat Miranda Maverick in the decision unanimous. On welterweight, Kamaru Usman defeat Joaquin Barkley in the decision, which is unanimous. Yep, that's all for the main card and the preliminary card results of the UFC Fight Night in Atlanta. So let's get off with the bell. Let's just kind of look for the bell then. You know, that bell reminds like the commercial of Taco Bell, but I know that my new soundboard, it's getting really, really, really good. It became like really good. All right, so for the next topic, I mean, make sure to subscribe to Capitán Rafucho. And of course, you can follow me on every social media at the Heads, formerly Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Kick, Rumble, Twitch. I'm on everywhere. I'm on everywhere. All right, so the next topic. I mean, this is gonna be like so much interesting, but it kind of like really, really bored. Because first and foremost, we got John Jones versus Tom Aspinall drama. Again, I mean, again, what in the actual fuck? I mean, again?
Bruh.
Because you know what? I mean, the whole situation of John Jones versus Tom Aspinall, it became a Mexican soap opera. It never ends with a plot twist. But you know what? I mean, between for that fight of Tom Aspinall versus John Jones, because I understand that John Jones is the heavyweight champion and Tom Aspinall is the interim. But I know that some of the fans call him boring, but they just burning it. Because you know what the defender to say, because I'm not even the killer about it. All right, so there's one comment on the social media that say legacy completely ruined. And John Jones was responding to say, John Jones, youngest champion in UFC history, most dominant, longest reigning, made millions, left the sport in his own terms, lived that fight real into business, real success, became a great father, inspired people all over the world. Yeah, what a terrible legacy. I mean, that sounds like ChatGPT going into the chats. But between for like the whole situation, I mean, the people want to see like that fight. Like this year or maybe the next year. But I understand it about it because we all know that this fight could be or not could be. And I was like to really worry. I mean, people only want to see the fight because they want to see it like a guy that is prime beat up an old man. Because that wouldn't be fair. That wouldn't be fair enough. Because this is like a huge problem. Huge problem. I mean, Joe was going along because he was like the corrupt license for like UFC. And the fans are still going up with this. I mean, he sold out the arenas and record breaking gates every event. At the end of the day, it's all about money. And to get the UFC attention along with Dana White, you have to hurt them with what really matters. I mean, Aspinall has played the whole thing well. And I just feel like he just start with anything but the whole to be like an honor to fight the greatest of all time. The greatest of all time, which is John Jones. But some people get it wrong because the greatest of all time in mixed martial arts is George St. Pierre, not John Jones. George St. Pierre, GSP. Because I understand that he's got a green light to play whatever he wants. That doesn't mean like an equality to watch at the passage of mouse. But he could have like a different way of blaming for what happened. When I feel like people get too defensive around the ways that harmless conversations. Claiming victim blaming does nothing that a force has a single narrative and squash meaningful discussion. Because I understand that if someone crosses the street without looking, speeding cars and getting killed by a speeding car, but the car is speeding, I'm addressing you guys should enough awareness to be defensive with a crossing piece of pavement, the car is sidewalk. And there was blaming the person that crossed the street, which is victim blaming. And there's realized that he was a person that had to be more careful. Perhaps they could avoid such a disaster. That not casting blame on the victim, that's objectively a sense of what really happens. A lot. But it's not going to be like a really too late for a narcissist. Hey, salute to Arturo Vasquez and Adrian Reña, 123, with the bats. With the bats. I know, I understand. But, anyways, between for like supposed to do like a fight. I mean, for me, it's just like it was a mistake to call it in, to go along with like the UFC pretending that John was champ. I mean, he dug Jim Nandu for 3 years, only to find anyone for a paper belt right if he's left UFC. If beating, like Cyril Gain was the match right to being champ, Volker is the current champ of the course of his life. But the fans are sure like already reject the propaganda to declare Aspinall's rightful champ. And I know John explained at the time to let you know the cell was heavy. It is clear that he's clear that he won no parts of the top fights. Francis, Palm. I mean, it's all about like gaslighting. Gaslighting. I mean, what can I tell you about this right now? I'm seeing it's just really like,
Huh?
and for being honest right now, I don't think that fight between John Jones versus Thomas Pinot should be that year or maybe next year. I mean, if the people want to see like a John Jones versus Thomas Pinot right there on the that year or the next year, people that just want it to sound like this. Just like crickets everywhere because I don't know if those fans are getting like really ruthless or maybe they just like mixed reaction, because we all know that after John Jones beats Steve Miocic, remember that back in 2024, and it was just like a perfect night to see John Jones get into this prime and getting this comeback. But it was like really, really doubtful that what's going to happen with the next fight of John Jones. What's going to happen? Because he's going to stay jabbing away for the background, trying to like whatever the current heavyweight champion is teasing and returning. But the one that last summer, like, look when it happens and some basic champ is no one. I mean, here's another example. Conor McGregor. He hasn't wanted to train seriously for a year, but he was like really addicted to be on the mids and talking shit. I mean, probably also having joint control of being able to manipulate it and get a lot of attention. A lot of attention. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about for like, because after that fight with Stein, he was deciding that I'm not retiring. But doing for over the last days, he was commenting in some other fans, random fans on social media, and say, "Yeah, I'm retiring and everything, and blah blah blah." This, and he was deciding to say publicly he's not retiring because he was hoping that Alex will keep it his belt to have a super fight and yet again by someone smaller than him. And when Alex Pereira lost, he also lost the option that now he's back in the tracking because he was scared with Aspinall. I mean, he should be allowed to hold like a title for this long without defense. He has been champion for like over more than 785 days with one defense only. He is 111 days away from beating Velasquez's record. That brings out to September 21st, the end of the summer. And they announced like the fight after September 21st. And once this past the date, they will announce a retirement that the fight will never take place, so he beat the record. So, could be pathetic, should be enough for it to happen, but it definitely will a lot. Definitely will. So, between for the whole drama of John Jones versus Sam Aspinall, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Bruh.
It was just like, but anyways, I just realized that the fight between John Jones versus Sam Aspinall should be this year, should be the next one, but I don't think that the people they just wanted to like realize if they got to be ready. But when the people that say they're losing or winning, they're just like, oh no.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
Yep. They're gonna be like a reaction on it. They're gonna be a reaction on it. And the last topic, because do you guys remember the whole reality show called The Ultimate Fighter when Nate Diaz was Nate Diaz? Yep, there it is. The Ultimate Fighter. Daniel Cormier versus Chael Sonnen. I mean, the good guy versus... But I understand that they just brought back the reality show that we just watched all the prospects. Yep, all the prospects that we just saw everything. All the prospects. And they will feature the men's flyweight and welterweight divisions per release. But I understand the between for like the Ultimate Fighter, it's getting like great vibes. They're coaching. They're coaching at all. For like in the season number 30. But it was really nice to see all those prospects coming up there, making to the whole statement on the future. And also there's like some fighters, then they just rejected it the first time. But right now it seems they have second opportunity. But some of the fans that I see that they can get through like the Ultimate Fighter because they spend like the whole entire episode showing like backstory of both fighters that are fighting that today. Most of the time, some people they just call not that really interesting and so losing it just like a waste of their time. But I think they really underestimate how much the average non-training fan is interested in like watching the technique and trialing. They also need to show more sparring. It's really important. Hey, how's it going? Chewy NFL News and Podcast. What's up? What's up? Make sure to subscribe to Choose NFL News and Podcast. Hello to you. Maybe I'll get you on one of my shows straight out of Nation. Yeah, maybe I'll get you there. Maybe I'll get you there. All right, so speaking about the Ultimate Fighter, I mean, that was really watchable. Really watchable. And for me, they show up the dedication, the nutrition planning, the training methods, the real life of being like a fighter and not just like a bunch of made up drama. I mean, it's gonna get through like the most competitions so quickly. Because in some parts I'm gonna say, I don't care about those lives, I don't care like all the nonsense, or it's clear for the craft. But I really understand that they still use failure is always an option. There is a choice. When they're coaching like in a basketball and soccer teams, something like that. But they show up much emotion toward the fighters. And when it comes to Daniel Cormier and Channel Solomon, the good guy and the bad guy, some people shade on Channel, and I understand why he loves his sport so much. Right now, they have the new format, the fights, the whole area stuff. I mean, people, they really miss it. People don't really miss it at all. And for this right now, I'm just getting really excited to see like all those talents coming up there, all those talents. I mean, if you see like one of those prospect fighters that I was getting used to it, and you know, I really like his striking style, but of course his pairing he needs to like really, well, not to really improvise everything. Not to really improvise everything. And right now they're absolutely getting in of the second episode. Yeah, the second episode of the season number 33 of The Ultimate Fighter. But there's one fighter that he really blows me up. Really blows me up that he got the skills, he got everything. I mean, they just wanted to take all over it. Yep, all over it because it feels like really right. It feels like really right because I'm just trying to look up. I'm just trying to look it up Let's just look it up for the I'll just look it up for the name right now. Oh, there's Alice Sanchez. Alice Sanchez for welterweights. Now, that fighter, I mean, that prospect fighter, I mean, this could be like it really happened. I mean, that I just watched all over like his prospect and film study. I mean, that guy, he was like fantastic, really fantastic. And he was fighting now Ciudad Jimenez in Chihuahua, Mexico. I mean, I was just like really great at all because he was on the Roger Fiber A1 Combat 16, not just versus Figueroa. And I know that guy, he was really talented because he just brought like some of the skills who really adapted with just like a young Brandon Moreno. Yeah, because I was like really worried about it. But, you know, this kid I really likes to impress a lot because those skills, those ground and pound, he was just like a really young Brandon Moreno. He was getting steady focus on those punches and those uppercuts, but of course, those punches, those kicks, that really blows me a lot. really blows me a lot. And there's one Venezuelan guy that I was like, he's gonna be like the real deal on flyweights. There's a one Venezuelan fighter called Roibet Echeverria. Yep, Robert Echeverria. Because he was really good, but he has some of the worst striking defense ever. I mean, he doesn't really like it move enough, and he doesn't keep like his hands high enough. But I'm very glad that he was taking like the second opportunity, because I remember he just won a championship with the Anthony Pettis in Milwaukee, but I know that he was kind of like really improves a lot. I mean, I understand that he needs to work it out with a strikely defense. And that speed of the flyweights, they're really unacceptable. But he has a great grappling, defense over respectively. But they're most like one of those wins of Robert Echeverria, they're mostly against guys with a 2-15 record. Because people had a strong feeling that he wasn't gonna look hard. Because even of the face-offs, when he was well, he was in karate combat, I guess. There's like a bunch of clowns that crushed like some like 400 cans in Titan, and probably they never have a big name fighter unless I go there. But I understand that Roybet Echeverria could be the real deal of flyweight. I mean, don't even disrespect to him. Don't even disrespect to him. Because I understand he just went like a something slower, but he gets to a bike up. He get real he get the real deal with the flyweight could be. Alright? So I mean, the undefeated fighter is just like it about to calculate. You never know what's gonna get like a Kazmat or a Rybert, but between for this one, I would love to see. But it's really hard to get it saw about like this grappling, this striking, also this cardio, because I understand that wrestling needs to like, well, he needs to get adapted a lot more. He needs to get adapted a lot more, and I mean, I understand he won in Milwaukee, but we've been seeing like a more than he's gonna be like a really beatable or not beatable. Because if they want to do like really something and really smart, he needs to get understood. He needs to get understood with a flyweight. But I don't think that it's well technically it's gonna be really happen. I don't really happen. But in case of this one, I mean, if you're gonna to watch a film study of Brandon Moreno, or maybe Steve Erceg, or Joshua Band, or maybe Alessandro Pantoja, the current champion of flyweight. I mean, if you see like a Brandon Moreno, Alessandro Pantoja in his prime, and I think that Robert Echeverria could have all those skills, but he needs to prepare a lot of things. He needs to understand a lot of more. He has to like to get involved with his fight IQ, because I know he's real deal for the flyweight division, but he needs to understand a lot of more. Not only with his wrestling, but of course his grappling, striking, cardio, and of course he gets a lot of the bit with his uppercuts. Because I understand that he just wanted the band in Milwaukee, championship in Milwaukee, and he was hanging around with the Karate Combat president also. But I don't want to disrespect to Robert Echeverria, but I will say it in Spanish. I will say that one in Spanish. Robert, lo mejor que puedas hacer es entrenar bien duro y por si fuera poco, tendrás que ver los film studies de Brando Moreno, Alessandro Pantoja, algunos que están en la división de flyweight. Y tendrás que hacerlo con muchas ganas. Tenga fe y por si fuera poco, no te vas a rendir. No te vas a rendir y siga adelante. So that means you gotta keep moving forward. You gotta keep moving forward, and then you're gonna learn that lesson. You're gonna keep it up. You're gonna really keep it up. So it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen to Robert Echeverria. So he needs to work a lot more. You have to prepare a lot of things. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, it's been another episode of the Combat Club right now. So it was really sad to say goodbye. Yeah, just like the sad trombone coming out there. It's really sad. I mean, it's just really sad to say goodbye. Really sad. You know what that means? Oh snap! I mean, my soundboard is good. Yep, that's why my soundboard just gave like really slower. But make sure to subscribe to Capitán Rafucho on YouTube. Also, you can follow me on every social media. Twitter as known as at Capitán Rafucho. On Instagram at Capitán Rafucho93. And of course, you can follow me on Kick, Twitch, TikTok, Rumble. I'm almost for the social media. And then for the next week, well, probably this week because I had to set up the stream along with my co-host Zion to talking about UFC Atlanta and the UFC on Baku, Afghanistan. Because check this out, folks, because they just gave like a lot of great events when it comes to summer. Because first up it was Rob Damashili versus Shana Maili, the second part in Newark, New Jersey, which is totally great. Totally great at all. Also, it was the UFC on ESPN between Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley in Atlanta, Georgia. And then for the next week, which is this week, they have Jamal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree Jr. on Baku, Afghanistan. On June 28th, there was UFC 317, Il Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. Spain versus Brazil. Also on 12th of July because I understand that 4th of July it is the American Day of Independence. So on July 12th, there's UFC on ESPN. They have Lewis versus Teixeira. UFC 318, Holloway versus Poirier. The third part, as known as The Last Dance, at New Orleans, Louisiana. Also on July 26th, Whittaker versus the Ryder in Abu Dhabi, United Arab States. Also on August 16th, they have Dricus du Plessis versus Hassan Chiamed in Chicago, Illinois. And last but not least, they have the UFC Fight Night 275, 257, and Shanghai, China. Yep. Hey, how's it going, Crossover? Salute to you. Hey, I was just trying to I just wanted to invite you in one of my shows. All right, so I wanted to make sure that, I just wanted to make sure that we just wanted to have like an open discussion with all these UFC, the MMA, everything. So shout out to Crossover MMA. So salute to y'all. And it's been like a while because right now, over the last few days, because I was just trying to experiment something new with the soundboard, and I know that life really hit a lot. And I mean it. So I just wanted to tell you, thank you guys for joining. I had the Combat Club, so make sure to subscribe to Capitán Rafucho. And of course, I just wanted to make sure there's going to be like a big surprise coming up there very at the next few days. So you got to stay tuned for the channel. And of course, I just wanted to make sure Peace out, everybody. And of course, I will see you there in the next episode of the Comic Club with Mission Martial Arts, boxing, and wrestling collide each other with all those fans. Because in this club, we're born to fight. Anytime, anywhere, anyone. So I just wanted to tell you. Salute to you guys, and I will see you there in the next episode. Peace out. Mi name is Rafael Chacenas. I'm el Capitán Rafucho. See you there.